Hey, amazing souls. I know today it is going to be a tough topic, but let's talk about something that so many of us struggle with caring for our aging parents while juggling our own lives, responsibilities, and emotions. If you have ever felt overwhelmed, guilty, or even frustrated in this journey, you are not alone. The silent struggle is not between you and your parents but between two generations. One of the biggest challenges our generation faces today is managing the expectations of our aging parents while also trying to build our own lives. They come from a time where authority, respect, and obedience were deeply ingrained in relationships. And we have grown up in a world that values individuality, independence, and self expression. Now, this creates a huge emotional tug of war. On one side, parents feel they have invested their entire lives in us, making sacrifices, guiding us, nurturing us. And on the other side, we as their children are constantly torn between wanting to please them, care for them, and also needing to honor our own personal journeys. So, where does this struggle come from? Now, let's try to see what's the root cause. Why parents become difficult? And the adult child tries to engage in a conversation, but there's a visible disconnect. Most elderly parents don't consciously intend to be difficult. Their behavior stem from deep seated emotions, past experiences, and subconscious fears. Now, let's break down some key reasons behind these rigid patterns of unwillingness to take care of their health and well being, denial on suggestions from their children, sometimes going to the extent of self victimizing by abandoning their grown up adult kids as well. They can abandon the kids for their that rigid ego. So the first and foremost remains their resentment with life due to unfulfilled expectations throughout their lives. Because throughout their lives, the parents have invested their energy into raising the children, you and me, leaving no room for themselves, nothing to blame them. That's how they were conditioned. Now they come to a state where doing things for themselves they see as a sin, thanks to stereotype and patriarchal definitions of being a parent with which they have been conditioned to make them feel guilty to take care of themselves. But the problem arises when they attach their sense of success and self worth to their children's achievements. Here is where the problem starts. As children, we grow, we carve our own paths, sometimes different from what our parents envisioned. This divergence can leave parents feeling unappreciated and disconnected, sometimes even betrayed, hence adding to the resentment. Now, the unconscious mind is finding it very difficult to agree to it or accept to it. In many cultures, parents see their children as an extension of themselves, like as if the children are their personal brand, which in turn builds the subconscious expectation of lifelong obedience and validation. Because how people will labor the brought up, right? So they want society to really appreciate because they have been conditioned to belong. Here, if children make independent decisions, parents may feel a loss of control or respect. This can manifest in resistance, emotional manipulation, or even guilt tripping. Because all they have in condition is to belong to a society. They fear being, excluded. So this need for inclusion puts pressure on them to drive the parents in certain way, and again the disappointment. So now this is what it is causing the irrational expectation. See, I want to remind you that it might be irrational for us, but not for them. For them, this is a genuine feeling from their perspective. Kya bada mang liya? Right? Hardly I'm expecting you to for your good only, na. So many parents spend their youth suppressing their own emotions to fulfill their responsibilities towards us, towards you. Now, as they age, these suppressed emotions, regret, fear of loneliness, start surfacing in unexpected ways. Sometimes even as control or sometimes as emotional withdrawal. Because now the willpower is reducing and their emotional resources are depleting, right? So they don't have too much of control over that. Now all of this is suppressing. So the best solution is bringing awareness. When they become aware and you become aware of what they're going through, that becomes the first step to healing. Now, talking about the next factor of aging, this is bringing all cognitive, emotional, physical changes in them. The fear of losing life, losing independence, becoming irrelevant, or being a burden on someone can really create frustration, withdrawal, or even stubbornness. Not only at that age, even in our age, if we become that, definitely we will get resentment. So, understanding this helps us to respond with more patience. They are seeking attention and sympathy. Some mentally individuals unconsciously resist healing or change because needing care makes them feel valued. In psychology, we talk about every person having an ulterior motive behind their action. In NLP, we speak about a positive intention behind every action. No matter the act is positive or negative, they are seeking a reward out of it for themselves. So, understanding what could be the reward that they are seeking can help working on this undesired act. Or if not, even finding the exact motive, even if you understand that something like this exists, it can help us to operate from more compassion and then build resilience for ourselves to deal with these things. Their complaints or emotional outbursts may be hidden request for your love and reassurance. So just see where can you fix those needs. Let me take a small example. A child falls sick. Now mother takes leave. Other days, even if he cries, she convinces him by some means and leaves to office. Again, child falls sick and mom takes leave. So the child thinks that to make my mother stay with me, I need to fall sick. Now his unconscious body, whenever is in a need for mother, the solution is falling sick. So if this pattern can be traced, then the mother can balance either spending the right amount of time with the kid and avoiding extremes, both when well or not well. This is just one of the examples, and each pattern might show a different need. Most of it being love and affection at this age. At this age, there are not much, and every human, this is the basic need which no we are trying to fulfill. Just see their patterns of behavior, and you will understand that they are calming down when that is being satisfied. When you are there, uh, that's different. They're seeking sympathy. You will see in their talks, their behavior, everything. Now, second thing, the emotional dependency and this victim mentality at this age. When parents feel they're losing control over life, they sometimes adopt a victim mindset. Now, they may exaggerate helplessness, refuse for solutions. They just want to talk or make the struggle seem bigger to feel important in the family dynamic. Because feeling that they are important, they need more attention, and such stuff like that. So, because they might be feeling that nobody cares about me anymore. So, what do I do? This good. So, they're not doing it consciously. Unconsciously, these internal dialogues are happening. Right? We say ki now they're lying or they're crooked. No, they're not crooked. By hook or crook, what they're wanting to do is not for money or something, to attention and love. So if that can be reassured, then there will be no need for those hooks and crooks. So see where are the gaps, and if you can build patience in yourself and improve your emotional smartness to fulfill that besides your own responsibilities and hustle. Understanding the cause of their behavior is one thing, but how do we prevent ourselves from feeling emotionally drained? So let's take some powerful mindset shifts that can help in dealing this. As they're aged, coercion doesn't work. It makes things worse. In trying, no, in turn, it will put you into a guilt trip as well. So, not the coercion, or sometimes neither the counseling works until it is professional or deep, because of their mentally drained resources of acceptance, willpower on their actions. So, one of the mindset which can help you is one other from humanistic psychology by Sir Carl Rogers, where we talk about practicing unconditional positive regard. Here, clients are accepted as they are, no matter how they behave during the sessions. Likewise, accepting your parents as they are, not as you wish them to be. Remind yourself not to repeat the same mistakes that they did with us, pushing us to be the way they wanted. Now, at this adult stage, you need to be aware of the resourcefulness that you carry compared to them at their stage, and become conscious to deliberately apply them at every instance in form of your action or mindful self-talk. This would make things easier for you to handle rather than trying to seek control and know why they are like this. Allow them to be as they are, because we cannot, and we are not responsible for change in anyone. We are solely responsible for only change in ourselves, right? Now, instead of expecting them to change, shift your own perspective. That alone helps, because we do not want to repeat what they did. Then there's no difference. You have been complaining that they did something to you, and now ensure that you don't repeat it. Secondly, recognize the emotional need behind their actions. Coming to the next, every complaint, resistance, or demand has a deeper emotional root. Instead of reacting, pause and ask yourself, what are they truly trying to express? Again, you need here a lot of mindful practice and emotional control, emotional EQ. Instead of arguing, you can give them a hug or say, yes, acknowledge what they're saying, and losing nothing. Don't try to explain them or correct them, just listen. Detach from emotional enmeshment. You're not responsible for their happiness. This is again the biggest mistake, that you enmesh, you feel that you are responsible for their happiness. Serve them with love, but not with guilt or compulsion. All the trouble is only arising from you enmeshing your energy with theirs and holding yourself responsible for them. Remember, you are just a child for them. They know better what they want and not want for themselves. Every human. You just have to be like a guardian, providing whatever emotional or financial support in your capacity, and there ends your responsibility. I would want to cite a beautiful explanation from Swami Vivekananda explaining the Karma Yoga in his book, citing the quote from Bhagavad Gita. Karmanyevadi karaste ma phaleshu kadachan. We think it's only for our work. No. He beautifully explains how your action, expecting a reward, is equal to no action. Do think for the sake of doing, because you are expecting an emotional reward and you're doing it because you like doing it. It makes you feel good and empowered. That's all. Now, how the people respond to it, are grateful to it or not, respectful or not, is not your job to analyze. Else, do not do the thing. There's no right and wrong. It's all your own emotions. You want to do or don't want to. If we go dig a little deeper, then he also elaborates how we donating to a beggar as a charity does it not make any difference in his life. If not you, it will be taken care by someone else, because nature knows how to nurture. You rather need to be grateful to that beggar who allowed you an opportunity to feel pride and empowered and capable enough to donate. So the donation is not a charity done for them, but for your own emotional needs. Similarly, you taking care of the elderly is your emotional need to not feel guilt later, or to pay back their debts, or the need to express your love for them, or not to attract a bad karma. Do not ever think you're doing something great and they need to be grateful. This only creates a sense of ego and hence expectation, and then trouble in handling the situations. It's easier said than done, but until we work on it, we might not understand the depth. There you might need professional help on how to again implement this. But remember that you need to focus on your goals and your life. Meanwhile, see how can you balance taking care of them rather completely getting emotionally and physically involved in taking care of them, which makes you to distract or focus from your own goals. Now, when your own goals are not getting satisfied, this frustration and this unfulfilled desires uh, roots this frustration to only during the to your parents, because our brain always wants to put the blame somewhere else, because you could not focus here, you could not do things here properly. You will think, "Ki, since my distraction was here, I was not able to do this and they are responsible," and it will build again resentment. Rather, limit here the attention with detachment. Do the things that are needed to be done, and you need to engage wholeheartedly in your work. The more you feel fulfilled and content in your goals, your self care, your health, and your routines, you will feel more happy. And when with a happy mind you serve them, your tolerance level to be able to take care of whatever few tantrums or deniers will be easy, because you are already internally happy and this will not matter you. But if you are hollow with your own things, then you will only try to fill that with no resentment towards here. It will root there unconsciously. You're not willingly doing it. Okay, somewhere you don't know what's the reason, and only reason in front of your eyes is this disturbing thing. That is why building emotional smartness matters a lot. So I was giving an example to one of my clients where no she her mother is schizophrenic, and she talks just uh, too much disturbing language. And this girl, she is a PhD graduate, and she has come for a break after the PhD, seeking for her opportunity working on some other research thing, and she's at home. And it was so depressing to be at home because as being a mother, she neither wants to abandon her, and nor she's able to tolerate the kind of language the mother is using. So one thing was aspect was to building compassion towards the mother and being able to uh, build that resistance in the senses that that is how she is. She is going through a medical problem, and this I cannot change that. All I need to do is to build my capabilities on able to focus on my tasks. Then she started to go for some classes like no she was doing cycling, then searching for her job, then her own things like no swimming and extracurricular activities. The more she was able to do those stuff, then she felt that yes, she's getting better, and it was easy for her to ignore the problems created by her mother. Right, so it became easier. So when you fulfill yourself, it becomes easier. That is why fill your cup first. That is why we say learn how to be selfish. Then only you will be able to live selflessly also later. Then again, that's a different topic. Again, one more example of another no entrepreneur where she is at home for work from home, doing business, and mother has some OCD issues, and she doesn't allow to touch anything in the kitchen. So she can't even have a cup of tea or cook what she likes, and somehow the mother's dementia has caused her mother not cooking so well, so she's not able to eat also. I mean the client. So now thinking that so now the client is going into a victim mode, saying ki mere paas ab chara nahi hai, I have to eat from outside, I'm not able to eat healthy, I'm not able to have my breakfast, I'm not able to eat what I like, I can't bring my friends home. So there's so much. Client is already about 30, 30, 35. So imagine. So one thing, so what are the complaints coming here? One is that she's not able to do things for herself. So imagine if she's able to do things for herself, automatically she will be able to tolerate the drama, because anyways her things are getting done. So now that doesn't leave any chance to blame anyone. Number one. Number two, uh, she needs to remind herself of why she wants to stay with the mother. One, because she doesn't want to be alone. Two, she feels that it will be very no bad to leave them as they are currently. Number three, uh, so I reminded her to calculate all the rewards that she could get from staying with the parents. One is the emotional satisfaction that she's with their parents, number one. Number two, if she has to go stay out, she has to spend some extra bucks, and she will miss the parents also, and again travel may problem home. I mean time, money, everything. So imagine that she is staying out, which she is not, and block that money and deposit it for her own asset creation. So she will be able to tell to herself that, okay, by staying here, I'm saving so and so amount, and that has been creating an asset. So there is a reward by staying here for me. Now, again, when she is able to find a positive reason to again tolerate so much of pain, right? So always you need to show the rewards of that negative situations to your brain, so the brain becomes more tolerant, right? So we can work on deeper aspects from person to person, it differs, and for that definitely you can work on your professional health. I hope this is helping. And now let's move to a spiritual aspect of this relationship and this. So as we talk different aspects of attachment, action, positive regard, let's see a situation from the spiritual perspective. Every soul chooses its journey, including our relationship with our parents, friends, and everything. What you resist, persist. Now, instead of resisting, can we embrace this as a karmic lesson for growth as well? Every soul has scripted their journey. Might be this is the chance to pay off your karmic debts and also an opportunity to elevate your wisdom. Think. What can you do again? Number one, learn detachment. Serve from a place of love and not obligation. Count your rewards. Accept that their journey is their own and you are here to support, not control. When I say count your rewards, emotional rewards, physical rewards, and mental rewards as well, and evaluate them. There is no one forcing you to do the thing. You do or don't do, as I already said. Number two, see this as a karmic opportunity. Every challenge is an invitation to evolve. This situation is helping you to cultivate patience. You never know what the future is waiting with. Your emotional strength and acceptance. We are able to accelerate our own personal and spiritual growth through this situational scenario. Might be it will help you in your future, business or any challenge that you might face in the future as well. Remember this, that nothing in your life is happening without a reason. All you need to do is to find the reason behind it. And the reason is always good. Not today, might be 3 years from now or 10 years from now, you realize that today, because of this, you were able to build few skills and few things, few realizations. See, count your own rewards. Keep by being in this relationship. What are you getting? Future may you will not you will not have to be a regret or a guilt, isn't it, that you could not spend time with your parents? They took care of you when we were doing tantrums. We don't even remember that, but now we are able to count and no talk so much about their tantrums, just because we are grown up adults and we are feeling it. So let's pay off everything. So everything is a settlement in your life, right? You will have to settle the debts now or later. Why not settle it now itself? Because we are going to again travel the same journey. We never know how we will have to pay off. So this becomes a spiritual aspect, no, to again elevate your journey. So if you are struggling with the emotional weight of caregiving, know that you are not alone. We at the Infant Brain are here to support you in navigating this journey with more ease, balance, and inner peace. You can reach out to us at hema at mindmillion.com. Remember that caregiving is not about control or sacrifice. There is no sacrifice. It's about love, patience, and emotional mastery. If this resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more insights on transforming life's toughest challenges into opportunities for growth. Share what is the biggest challenge in your journey in handling your aged parents or anyone in your life. and we shall respond to you in less than 24 hours. Or for personal consultations, write us to hema@mindmillion.com. Until the next video, tata, bye bye, and love you all.